What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Now, we may be experiencing some social distancing, but that's not going to keep us from delivering you the news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including wrestlers are refusing to travel to WWE shows, Sasha vs Bayley at Wrestlemania plans cancelled, WWE taping Wrestlemania next week, SmackDown ratings, did they go up or down, AEW postpones its show, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, but let's waste no further time and get straight into the first story, as wrestlers are refusing to travel to WWE shows. Now, in this current situation, people across the world are taking no risks by traveling outside their home, and wrestlers seem to be no different. Dave Meltzer mentioned on the recent edition of the Wrestling Observer Radio that there are a few superstars who aren't willing to travel to Orlando for WWE's weekly television, Paige being one of them. He mentioned, Paige made the announcement by Skype because she didn't come, and I don't know if she could have. Well, I guess she could have. She was not one of those willing to come. There have been other people not willing to come, and WWE has been. Both companies have been really good about it. It's like, you're not willing to come? Fine, no problem. So they did the tape thing. As we'll see, WWE is doing all they can to make sure WrestleMania goes ahead, even if superstars aren't willing to travel to the event. Next up, a WWE wrestler not getting paid? Now, Braun Strowman seems to be digging a digital ditch for himself as he doubles down on his stand that wrestlers on the independent circuit might want to pursue a different career given the current economic crisis. As we reported earlier, the monster among men took offense when AEW star Evil Uno suggested fans help support indie wrestlers who are out of work. Strowman's apparent lack of empathy led to some fans criticizing him, which led to Strowman claiming he's not getting paid by the WWE right now. Strowman tweeted, "I get paid when I work, private contractor, so nothing is coming in at the moment." Not everyone believes Strowman is going without pay right now, since wrestlers have guaranteed contracts. Wrestling reporter David Bixby tweeted back, dude, I'm pretty sure you can ask the office to pay you your downside as a weekly salary. There are others who were doing it even before the outbreak, especially if they're on a newer AEW era, more lucrative contract like you are, having just re-signed in July. Braun's comments about not getting paid are difficult to believe, and Wrestlemania is calling bullshit on Strowman's statement. Next up, Sasha vs Bayley plans at Wrestlemania were cancelled. Now, a Sasha Banks vs Bayley feud is still a feud that most fans want to see, and WWE had put plans in place to do it at WrestleMania 36, but nixed those plans at the last minute. Dave Meltzer recently mentioned, the company wanted to do Sasha vs Bayley at WrestleMania, and to their credit, given there was no time to build it up, literally this came up a week or two ago. They just thought, are we going to do a match with 4 weeks and no build? Is that insane? So they kinda got it pushed where we'll get a 6-way, and that'll be the start, and then we get a singles match when it's not so rushed. So that's kinda where that is. Now, this match therefore seems likely that they'll do it for SummerSlam, but hopefully they won't get cold feet even at that time. Next up, WWE taping Wrestlemania next week. Despite rumors that Wrestlemania 36 may not take place, there are reports from several sources that this year's Showcase of the Immortals will be taped the week of 22nd March. The Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online's Josh Nason is reporting, this year's WWE Wrestlemania will not be live, and it will instead be filmed this Wednesday and Thursday at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The specifics were first reported by PW Insider's Mike Johnson and confirmed by both Dave Meltzer and Post Wrestling's John Pollock. This year's 2-night event will also feature segments and matches from other non-disclosed locations, but it's unclear when those will be taped. In addition to Wrestlemania being pre-taped, the WWE appears to plan to tape other shows as well, as according to Nason, the next 2 SmackDowns were set to be filmed today, Saturday 21st March, while NXT content is on deck for Sunday. On Monday, the next 2 Monday Night Raws will be filmed, with WrestleMania coming the 2 days after that. This could be a wise move by the WWE, as there's no telling when travel restrictions might be imposed that will prevent the WWE from bringing in its stars to wrestle. As we reported earlier, wrestlers like Brock Lesnar, who currently live in Canada, may not be able to travel to the US to actually film WrestleMania. Next up, SmackDown ratings. Did they go up or down? The second week of empty arena SmackDown episodes seems to have held tight with last week's show. Paul Fontaine of the Wrestling Observer Figure 4 Online is reporting that the show averaged 2.563 million viewers, down less than 1% from the previous week. In the 18 to 49 demographic, SmackDown was up 7%, averaging a 0.75 rating. A number like that would usually put SmackDown on top of the network television ratings, but with more people at home, it trailed several shows. In the 18 to 34 demo, SmackDown did top all other network shows with a 0.6 rating, which was up 20%. The last time the show did a better number than that was on October 11th, the second week that it aired on Fox. Quite impressive, and as Wrestlelamia is told, the lack of other live programming could be a golden opportunity for the WWE to bring back lapsed fans and or build up a new audience. It's also good that WWE held its number even when fans had already seen an empty arena show. Last week could have just been a case of curiosity, but thankfully that's not the case. Next up, AEW show Blood and Guts is postponed. AEW President Tony Khan recently took to Twitter to thank the fans for their well wishes and thanks for continuing to air Dynamite despite the health crisis. Khan wanted to let fans know AEW is committed to bringing them weekly television throughout the current difficulties. However, the company has made some adjustments to its programming. You may recall AEW had originally planned its double cage match between the Elite and the Inner Circle for its special Blood and Guts episode on 25th March, but according to Khan, "Thank you. We plan to continue answering that calling with live weekly shows every Wednesday night on TNT, but the time and circumstances aren't right for the card we had planned for next week for Blood and Guts." Now, AEW isn't shelving the concept, or its weekly storytelling for that matter. The show will happen when the time is right, but what you can count on instead this coming Wednesday night is a great live episode of AEW Dynamite featuring Jericho confronting Matt Hardy face to face, one-on-one, for the first time ever. As mentioned earlier, there's no telling if or when the government will pull the plug on either the WWE or AEW's empty arena shows, so it's good to know both promotions are taping as many episodes as possible to keep the fans entertained. Next up, next SmackDown's preview. The WWE revealed 4 segments for the 27th March episode of the Blue Brand, with Alexa Bliss battling Asuka, Drew Gulak taking on Shinsuke Nakamura, with Daniel Bryan getting an Intercontinental Championship match against Sami Zayn if Gulak defeats Nakamura, a new episode of the Firefly Funhouse, and the #1 contenders match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship between the Usos and the New Day. Next up, Mark Henry talks Vince keeping Wrestlemania going. While some fans are skeptical whether WrestleMania 36 will take place as planned, believing it's one of Vince McMahon's biggest con games to collect insurance for Mania not taking place, others believe McMahon intends to go through with things. One such person is WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, who shared his thoughts on why McMahon is proceeding with Mania. "I think that is if you cancelled it, you would be conceding, you'd be letting it win. And I mean, knowing Vince McMahon, he's not gonna let it win. He's undefeated. He's not gonna allow it, man. And I think that is good for the hope of people. I think it's good for the morale of all the people that love professional wrestling. There's no doubt it's good for people looking for entertainment, and if it goes off, it will be a major accomplishment for McMahon, the WWE, and its personnel." Next up, an AEW star appears on NXT. Fans will forever remember the night ravishing Rick Rude appeared on an episode of Raw and a live edition of Nitro the same evening, seemingly defying the laws of physics. The 18th March episode of NXT and Dynamite featured a similar phenomenon, with current AEW star Chuck Taylor appearing on Dynamite in a tag match and in a hype video for Johnny Gargano. Just as was the case with Rude, Taylor's one appearance was taped, and in his case from a 2015 WWE tryout, and the Dynamite appearance live. It's still an unusual occurrence when you see this happen. And finally, a heel turn coming for a WWE superstar. It looks like a WWE tag team could be splitting up, with one of its members turning heel. Not too long ago, WrestleVotes recently tweeted on a rumored Mania match before things started going topsy-turvy. Prior to all the changes, a mixed tag match was scheduled for WrestleMania, Heavy Machinery and Mandy Rose versus Ziggler, Rude and Sonya. No telling on if that happens now, as comedy spots like I'm sure would have happened won't go over without a crowd. However, WrestlingNews.co has added to the story, reporting, "There's been a lot of fan speculation that it was Sonya Deville who sent the text from Rose's phone to Otis a few weeks ago to cause Otis to arrive late at the restaurant. Basically, the story would play out to show that Rose was telling the truth, and it was Ziggler inserting himself into the picture at opportune times, and not Rose ditching Otis." As WrestlingNews.co noted, Mandy Rose has been posting romantic photos of her and Ziggler via social media, so is the WWE going in a different direction, and might we see Rose turn heel as Deville's plan to ruin the budding Otis-Rose relationship backfires on her, robbing Sonya of the chance to make a romantic overture at her tag partner? This is speculation, but it could make for a fascinating storyline, and would tie in with reports from last year that Rose and Deville were petitioning the WWE for a romantic storyline. But there you have it guys, the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.